All right, good afternoon, Central Georgia. I'm Meteorologist Jordan West. So if you're not already aware, today is a severe weather type of day. So a lot to talk about right now. We got a cold front coming in from the west. Disclaimer, we're not under any type of severe warning or anything like that right now, but this is just an update on what's going on, the severe weather potential, the timing, and all of that fun stuff. So we are live, I believe, on Facebook. I'll be answering your questions there. So without further ado, let's get started. Got a lot to talk about, a lot of graphics that I didn't even touch during full weather earlier today. So got a lot to discuss. I'm gonna go ahead and go full screen. Feel free to comment any questions you have, or even where you're from, or any concerns. I'm gonna go full screen now so you can see the graphics behind me a little bit better. So for starters, this is a live cam in downtown Macon right now. Earlier we saw some very dense cloud cover, but a lot of that is already starting to clear out temporarily. We're kind of seeing these small cells outside of the cold front and the squall line that's headed our way, kind of develop some more dense cloud cover here and there across Central Georgia. Nevertheless, we should be overcast all the way up until later on tonight into early tomorrow morning. Temperatures in Macon in the upper 60s, which once again is very warm for this time of the morning. That just kind of escalates the fact that we will see some severe storms roll in. That energy is there, the instability is there, the rising motion from the warm, moist air coming in from off the Gulf of Mexico is all there. And once again, you can see that in the dew point temperatures. We're seeing a lot of green on the map, which is something we don't always see during winter, especially dew points in the upper 50s and lower 60s. That's just a lot of moisture over us. That's just going to fuel any type of thunderstorm development like we usually see during the summer, earlier or later on this year, and earlier like we saw last year. But here's a radar, the main focus, right? So we're already seeing some storms move into Monroe County, Jones County, Jasper, Putnam County, Crawford, Taylor, Macon, and Upson, and as well as Lamar County. So this particular storm that we are seeing move through mostly Monroe County, crossing the interstate, doesn't like it's anything too severe right now. We're watching it as always, like we will any of these smaller cells that are out ahead of this cold front. But if you are driving out on the roadways, so closer towards I-75, you are going to be a little extra cautious. The roads are going to be wet in some places, depending on where we see these cells out ahead of this front. So just be extra cautious. And these are some pretty strong and nasty storms, despite the fact that they might not be severe in nature. Remember, when we talk about severe storms, that's hail, a certain diameter. We're talking about the wind speeds. We're talking about lightning, as well as that potential for tornado. Right now, this storm over Bolingbroke, I think that's how you pronounce, it's more so just really heavy rain. Moving on to the surface map, there's a lot to kind of break down here. For starters, you can see where that low pressure system is to our north. This is kind of like the fueling mesoscale cyclone, if you will, that's causing all of this cold front that you see extending southwestward. What you see here, the red, the dark red, and yellow, those are severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings that are all affecting Alabama right now. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning for some of our northern counties and extreme northern Georgia, right on the Tennessee-Georgia line up there. So as this cold front gets closer and closer, we're going to see some severe thunderstorm warnings. We're going to see tornado warnings associated with this system. And Alex was telling me earlier, he's in the building with me, helping me out as well, that these storms just south of Columbus, let me go back to the other radar so we can see where Columbus is on the map. Just south of Columbus, they are a little bit more rotational, if you will. We're seeing a severe thunderstorm warning in Dale and Henry County. Now these storms are coming directly towards central Georgia. The possibility of a tornado early in the day can't be ruled out. These are some pretty nasty storms. We're seeing lightning associated with them, potentially probably some hail within that severe thunderstorm warning. So we can see these storms as early as now, 12:45-ish. So we're seeing, like I said, we are seeing that small little cell out in Bolingbroke. I'm gonna go back to the surface map for a quick second, finish talking about that, then I'll answer any questions you guys might have. So like I was saying before, the darker red and yellow that you see, the polygons, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. The red are tornado warnings. And we can see that squall line of storms moving through. I need to update the surface map. I updated it right before midday, and that means that cold front is probably a little bit farther east, but you can really tell where that cloud deck is, where that high pressure or higher pressure is moving in as well. And this red that you see here, that's kind of engulfing much of Alabama, that is all tornado watch in effect. So tornado watch is also in effect for north and western Georgia and a significant portion of Alabama as well. And I have a strong feeling within the next few hours they will extend that tornado watch towards central Georgia. I think all of central Georgia will be under a tornado watch. So let me see if you guys have any questions before I move on. I don't want to ignore y'all. I'm going to go back to the radar first so I can at least see something. Okay. Well, let's pull it up. 13 WMAZ. Here we are. Live chat. Nick says he's scared. Don't be scared, Nick. This is definitely a serious event that you want to be aware of. Take those precautions necessary, but we'll be tracking these systems with you over the next few hours. Alex is in here helping me. I'm here helping Alex. Ben will be in soon, and then yeah, so everybody's going to be here. We're tracking these systems. There's a possibility that nothing could happen, but there's also a strong possibility that we could see a few tornadoes spin up. I haven't gotten to this graphic yet, but we are under a level 3. I probably should have started with this graphic, but we are under level 3 of 5, and that is for much of our north and western counties, including Jasper, Putnam, Hancock, Baldwin, Jones, Macon, Bibb, Monroe, Lamar, Upson, Crawford, and Taylor, and parts of Macon County. So that's something that is pretty significant. We don't see that too often. We just got this update in terms of this level 3. They kind of just re-updated it, and we're still kind of in the same spot. So it doesn't look like we are going to go into a level 4, which is good news. This is kind of being consistent here. I'm going to read some more of you guys' comments. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, a lot of you guys are asking for the timings county by county. I'm gonna get to those in just a second. I know that's very important. Okay, no real questions just yet, just a lot of concerns and people wanting to know the severe risk and the rain, the future view for their particular county. So we're going to talk about that. Let's head on over to the future view. So this is the HER model, otherwise known as the high resolution rapid refresh model. This is one of the models that are a little bit more short term, so stronger in confidency, if that's even a word, in confidence, but doesn't go out that far, which is good because these storms should clear on out by later on this evening around 11 o'clock, if not earlier. So this is 12 o'clock, so this is right now. This particular model is showing some isolated cells that are producing showers out ahead of the cold front, the big cold front that's still to our west in Alabama. And we're seeing that now on the radar. It may not be exactly pinpoint to point where these isolated storms are, but they are out there. That's kind of the point. Moving to 1 o'clock, you can kind of see those storms just south of Columbus that I was talking about earlier are kind of headed our way, right? But they're still to our west. So got some storms north of Jasper and Putnam County. All in all, these looks like they are becoming a little bit more on the severe side, a little bit stronger, but it doesn't look like there are too many just yet. 2 o'clock, that's when we kind of want to continue being weather aware. We want to, you know, if we're live at that time, hopefully we're not. We'll probably only be live if there is a severe thunderstorm warning or something worse than that, or more worse than that. But that's when you want to be looking out for updates on the 13WMAZ.com, on the mobile app, 13WMAZ Plus, on Roku and on the Fire Stick. So have all of those ready. Make sure you know where your kids are. 2 o'clock is the time where you need to go and get those kids from school, typically. I know a lot of schools are already starting to close or dismiss early. You know where your kids are. I know a lot of y'all don't get off work till later on. So, you know, just have a plan ready. That's when things start to fuel up just a little bit, but still very isolated in nature. But these isolated storms, once again, right now I'm calling them isolated cells, but could eventually turn into isolated supercells, have that potential to become a tornado, or at least be very severe in nature. So moving on into 4 o'clock, I know I'm talking about a lot every single hour, but the dynamics do change just a little bit here and there. This is now 4 o'clock. That squall line of storms is just to our west. These squall lines, or this particular squall line, does still have that potential of a tornadic activity embedded in it. Probably not as much as the supercells out in front of it, but still definitely possible. You kind of see where that cloud cover is still definitely moving overhead. So I'm gonna start mentioning counties now. So this is 6 o'clock. Around 6 o'clock, Jasper County, Putnam County, Monroe County, Lamar County, Upson County, Crawford, and Taylor County will all be embedded within the squall line. Standardsville, Washington County, potentially even Hancock County, you guys are seeing the majority of the isolated cells that are ahead of this system that might be a little bit more tornadic. Now, it might not be Washington County that are embedded within these cells. It could be some of Lawrence County. This is just a model. This isn't pinpointing where these storms will be at exactly, just what type of storms we could be seeing, right? This is 6 o'clock. Again, I'm gonna mention, I know I just mentioned this, but it's hard to pinpoint each and every county at every single point in time because these are models. They're not, again, pinpointing where exactly these storms will be, but we'll pinpoint what type of storms we could see. And in this case, around 6 o'clock, we're seeing some isolated cells out in front of the cold front, with the cold front and the squall line being in our north and western counties. This is now 7 o'clock. I know it seems a little bit weaker now, but overall, it's more widespread, definitely, and that tornado risk is still there. The instability is still there. This is now 8 o'clock, similar situation, not too much of a difference. We really started to see some clearing out around 9 p.m. Clear weather just west of that squall line, so 9 p.m., we're talking about Jasper County, Putnam County, Monroe County, the same counties I just mentioned. That's when you guys are going to be clear. And starting around, I'm gonna go back for a second. Let's see. Starting around 7 p.m., that's when just about all of central Georgia, that's when the rest of those counties are definitely going to see that possibility for some isolated showers, storms, severe weather, and rain. So around 7 o'clock, the rest of you will start seeing those storms. And like I mentioned earlier, around 6 p.m., our north and western counties, that's when you guys are going to see the squall line of storms.
We're going to get that watch here in just a second.
Okay, Alex just informed me that we're more than likely going to see that tornado watch any minute now. Looks like the National Weather Service is discussing it. But to continue on, let's see. Now 10 o'clock, looks like once again, I know I'm kind of being repetitive here, but we're seeing mostly clear conditions west of the squall line around 10 o'clock. So Hancock County around 10 o'clock, you should be in the clear. Baldwin County, Jones, Macon, Bibb, Twiggs County, all you should be in the clear. Houston, Peach, Taylor, Crisp, and Dooley County. That's when you guys are going to start clearing out. Now, as we head into 11 and towards midnight, Truitland County, Willard, Telfair, all those south and eastern counties, including Lawrence County, could still see some rain, but will clear out before we head into early Friday morning. This is now Friday around 1 a.m. Got some clouds to our west, clouds to our east. Still a relatively moist day across central Georgia. Isolated showers are possible. Overall, nothing too much to worry about. No severe weather risk there. I'm not even going to finish talking about it because that's not what's important right now. What I mentioned earlier, though, and what is important is we are under a level 3 of 5 on our severe weather outlook. Again, that's for our north and western counties. Tornadoes are possible, damaging winds are possible, and large hail. All right, so still got a lot to talk about, but I'm going to go back to some of you guys' questions real quick. Let's see. Got to change my mouse. Let's see. Okay, so a lot of you guys are asking about schools or certain schools closing and when. You can actually find that on the 13WMAZ website. We have a whole list of any cancellation, and we're like updating that now. Like during midday, Alex and Wanya were getting lots of notifications like of school closures, school activity closures. So you really want to go back and not rewatch them, but we do have the updates on our website in the article, and that's constantly being updated. So if you need to refresh that page, you do that there. You can do it on the 13WMAZ app. It's probably at the top of the page because they probably put it there, and then it's probably getting a lot of views. So just go in on the website and you can see what schools are being closed. Let's see. Because I do know that different counties, you know, they have different school systems, so they do release, you know, on their own accord. So just you need to watch it. You know, Central Georgia as a whole aren't going to release all of their schools at once. You kind of have to take it county by county, depending on where you are. You know, you can find them on Facebook, find them on Twitter. Go to the website. Once again, 13WMAZ.com. You can see where those schools, which schools are closed, which activities are canceled, et cetera, et cetera. Just depends on your school. Alrighty. And then it looks like Twiggs County Public School just put in the live chat that they are releasing early in an abundance of caution. Students at 1 p.m., staff at 1:30 p.m. So there you go. And yes, Jennifer, my sleeves are up. I'm gonna go back to the camera so you guys can see. They're up. My tie's crooked, but they're up. I'm gonna go back. Let's see. All right. So moving on. Let's talk about winds a little bit. So right now, this is the current sustained winds and wind gusts. The wind gusts are the yellow. We're not getting the measurements of the wind gusts everywhere just because we're not seeing wind gusts everywhere just yet. But the white are the sustained winds, so normal winds. Wind gusts are the short-term winds that are typically a lot stronger. So, for example, in Eatonton, wind gusts are 22 miles per hour, wind speeds are 12 miles per hour. Cordele, wind gusts 26. Cordele, the normal wind speeds are 17. You guys can kind of read this yourself, but the red kind of highlights, you know, that darker color highlights stronger wind speeds as well as wind gusts that are going to become stronger as we head into later on this afternoon as well as into later on this evening as that cold front does start to approach our area. All that to say, we are under a wind advisory until around 11 p.m. That engulfs the entirety of central Georgia, and that means we could see wind speeds anywhere between 30 and 40 miles per hour, or wind gusts, I'm sorry, there's a difference. Wind gusts anywhere between 30 and 40 miles per hour. And remember, when those wind gusts get over 40 miles per hour, that's close to the wind speeds of a tropical storm. So once again, just watching that very closely. Make sure you have your pets inside. Don't forget about your pets. I know that's like everybody's main concern, right? You know, and the kids. Bring your pets inside, you know, even if they're used to being outside, especially with the wind, because, you know, things can be blown literally, you know, down the street. You know, make sure anything that's outside, that's on the porch that, you know, can easily be moved, it gets put indoors or in a shed or something of that nature. Just be extra cautious. And these strong wind speeds have the potential for trees to fall or, you know, dead tree branches to fall off, and power lines can be destroyed as a result. So that's something else we're watching to make sure that even before these storms get here, that we're not seeing any power outages as a result of the strong winds that we haven't seen in about a week or so. But like Alex just mentioned, we're not under tornado watch yet, but we will see that tornado watch any second now. We're seeing tornado watch for some of our north and western counties, as well as engulfing a lot of, or at least it was engulfing a lot of Alabama, but that's all starting to subside as this cold front and squall line makes its way closer towards central Georgia. All right, and then Alex made this handy dandy graphic kind of showing you the parameters of each severe weather, or the parameters of the severe weather that we're going to see later on this afternoon and even starting now. So for starters, tornadoes, looks like the highest chances of that will be anytime between 2 and 5 o'clock. Now, it's not to say that we can't see a tornado, you know, around 1 o'clock or around 8 o'clock, just highly likely and more likely around 2 to 4 o'clock, which is probably why we're seeing the schools start to kind of cancel or dismiss pretty early. In terms of hail, should be pretty consistent across the board, overall low, but can't rule that out. In terms of gusty winds, Similar situation, stronger as we head into 4, 5, 6, even 8, 9 o'clock. Once that cold front is right over us, that's when we're going to see the strongest pressure gradient. Therefore, that's when we're going to see the strongest wind speeds. Okay, I think I talked about pretty much everything in terms of the severe weather. I'm going to talk about some other things that I didn't get to mention in my full forecast, one of which is the long-range models. So once this system moves through and we head into Saturday and Sunday, we should be nice and clear. This is the long-range model. Now moving into 1 p.m. on Tuesday afternoon, possibility for another light cold front, or at least some showers and storms. And then moving into Wednesday, very, very light rain chances. I don't even think I consider this as a rain chance. Possible Wednesday, and that's really about it. Overall, we're going to be mostly clear, except for Tuesday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, my point was that it's going to be an awesome MLK weekend. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, if you're doing any outdoor plans, get on out there and do it, because it's going to start out a little chilly, but overall going to warm up to the upper 50s and lower 60s. Highs today, or the high today, was around 74 degrees. I think we're going to be cooling off from here on out just because we got a lot of cloud cover and a lot of rain. That rain might cool us off, and that sun won't be able to warm us up because we're not going to see it today after a certain point. But we are under a level 3 of 5 once again on our severe weather outlook. It'll be windy today, and tonight we will drop to 43 as we head into early morning hours tomorrow. A little bit windy still, but a lot cooler than what we saw earlier this morning. And then last but not least, our 7-day, which you probably saw during midday. 100% chance of rain today, obviously, with the squall line moving through. Light rain chances tomorrow, waking up pretty cold, colder on Saturday. Highs in the 50s through Sunday, highs in the 60s through Tuesday, and 70s by Wednesday of next week. All right, I'm gonna move over to Facebook once again to see if you guys have any questions. Kim says, everybody charge your phones and devices. That is some good advice. I should probably charge mine up right now. Let's see. Are we getting thunderstorms today? Yes, we are under a level 3 of 5 on our severe weather outlook, so we are getting some really, really, really strong thunderstorms today throughout all of central Georgia. Let's see. A few people have posted the link to the school closing and dismissals in the chat. Thank you, Bethany Brooks, for that. Very helpful. And yeah, so I know some people are talking about what to do during a tornado warning. I'll talk about that briefly, and then I think we will end there. So once again, you know, for starters, you should know the difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning. A tornado watch is just the ingredients are there, kind of like what they will be pretty soon. A tornado warning is when, you know, your phone is buzzing and your TV is going off. That means that there is likely, very, 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 very much likely a tornado on the ground. And usually we know that either through radar indication or from literally seeing a tornado on the ground. So if you get that warning, keyword warning, that's when you take cover. You want to be somewhere interior or the most interior room of your house. You want to have as many walls between you and outside as possible. Someone was mentioning that you could put a mattress over your head. That's also smart. A bathtub would be smart as well. Typically, a pantry or bathroom is good. Just make sure it's on the inside of your house as well as the lowest floor of your house. So a basement would be perfect. I know some bathrooms are on the outer skirts of your house with windows. Those are bad places to be. You want to be, once again, in the most central part of your house, completely closed off, as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and on the lowest floor of wherever you are. All right, looking through some comments. I think that's all the questions and concerns. Okay, and then someone else posted that the Bibb County schools are canceling all after-school activities. They said that was posted on Twitter. Okay, so Alex just confirmed that. So yeah, that is true. If you don't have your TV at home, or if you can't get 13, you can always download the 13 WMAZ app And anytime we're streaming, like we're streaming right now, we will be live on that app. And even better, we'll be live on a 13WMAZ Plus app, you know, with Roku and Fire Stick. So multiple ways to get those warnings, multiple ways to watch us if, you know, everything happens. I'm gonna go back to the radar so you guys can actually see what's going on there while I'm talking. But yeah, you kind of see, oh wow, some storms already headed towards Upson, Lamar County, Taylor, Macon County. I'm gonna zoom in there for a second. But the storms that were over Bolingbroke and headed towards Gray now, those have weakened considerably. But once again, these are some pretty nasty storms just west of Taylor County and Upson County. Let's see if they're.
If you pop up the tornado watch graphic,
Yeah.
for a moment, you'll see it. All the weather service offices have agreed on the area that SPC is going to put.
Okay.
So we know it's going to include Metro Atlanta. We're not positive to the extent through Central Georgia, but at least some of our counties.
Okay. So it looks like Alex was just telling me that the National Weather Service is about to update their tornado watches. They're going to extend it farther south. It may kind of indent into Central Georgia. It may not. Either way it go, it will eventually as we head later on into the afternoon and evening hours. So just FYI, heads up. I'm gonna go back to Facebook, see if you guys have any questions or concerns. When does the heavy rain begin in Warner Robins? So, oh, there we are with the tornado watch. For starters, if you look at the screen now, you can see where that tornado watch kind of is now engulfed in Jasper County, Monroe County, Lamar, Upson, Crawford, and Taylor County. So, like I said before, that squall line, as it gets closer, tornado watches are going to pop up. And so you're hearing a siren now, and I think that's probably just the tornado watch that's, let's see, it might be a severe thunderstorm warning. 1 second. Yeah, so that's just a tornado watch. Okay. For our north and western counties. That's what you hear in the background. You might not hear it, but that's the point. Go back to your questions real quick. I'm sorry, that tornado watch distracted me. A lot of you are saying, like, when does the heavy rain begin for Gray? When does the heavy rain begin for Warner Robins, Macon, all your counties? I know you guys are wanting to know. But like I said earlier, I'm gonna go back to the future view. Notice how a lot of these, or with this squall line, there are a lot of cells out ahead of the front. Those cells could be anywhere, you know. It might be in Macon County, Macon-Bibb County. It might be in Dublin, Lawrence County. It might be in Crawford County. You know, it's hard to predict those isolated supercells or isolated normal cells out ahead of that cold front. Now, I can tell you the timing on the squall line itself, you know, 5 p.m. for Lamar in our northwestern counties. So Jasper County, Lamar County, Upson, Monroe County, 5 o'clock. As we head into 6 o'clock, that means Putnam County, Baldwin County, and Jones County, Bibb County, Crawford County, Macon, and Taylor. 7 o'clock, everybody for the most part. So yeah, 7 o'clock for the majority of Central Georgia, except for maybe like Treutlen County, Willard County, Montgomery County. So if you're in the north and western portion of Central Georgia, as early as 5 o'clock. If not, anywhere between 6 and 7, you're going to see some showers. So yeah, that includes Warner Robins, that includes Gray. Just kind of naming off some places y'all have mentioned. Hannah says it's getting windy. Yep, wind speeds are going to increase the closer this storm gets towards us. Jennifer says she was a little bit late, Hawkinsville, so probably around 6:30 for Hawkinsville. But it could definitely be way earlier than that if one of these cells make it your way. In that situation, you know, Hawkinsville would be the only place with storms over them. Edith Elizabeth is smart, and she has the 13WMAZ app on her phone and iPad, and both of which are charging. There you go. Alrighty, so I think I answered just about all the questions, comments, concerns. Yep, and then we do have a few forecasts online as well, so you can always go back and watch those at any point in time. But hey, Ben Jones is here, Alex is here, I'm here. We'll be tracking these storms with you as we head towards the afternoon if anything does decide to spin up or we see any severe weather. With that, I'm going to end the live here. And everybody, please be careful out there.